right. Welcome in, folks, to the Can We Kick It podcast. I'm your co-host Mike, along with Chuck here.
What's up, dog?
Not much, dog. What's going on?
Nothing. Just kicking it.
Kicking it. Appreciate everybody for kicking it with us this week. We're gonna be talking.
Back in the
We're gonna
saddle.
close up our friends and neighbors because we haven't potted in a while. And then we're gonna talk Squid Game because that's back,
Yep. Yep. And stick.
and Stick, which is in limbo. I don't know
It,
where
it
that's
may
at.
have found it may have found the rough.
Yeah, we definitely hit into the rough on this one, folks.
Yeah. So I think our last podcast we talked about the first episode of Stick and
Yep.
how like, wow, we like this. And we may have a different opinion
Yeah.
after getting through episode 6. But like I said, there's not that many comedies. Maybe
Yeah.
do we talk about tires as well? Have we talked about that
I don't think
as a
we've talked about
comedy?
that.
All right. So we got a couple comedies to talk about today, just
Yeah,
in kind of the entirety. Um, so yeah, it's a busy time of year.
it is.
Summer, we've been traveling around, um, and yeah, just getting caught up on TV. And we just actually had, a couple big shows drop June 25th and June 26th. So Mike mentioned Squid Game and also The Bear. So we haven't watched any of The Bear yet. Well, I watched the first episode. Mike's watched zero, which
It's on
Mike is
me.
a
I'm
bigger
on.
fan of The Bear than I am.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I like it. It's great. It's just I think Mike's a little bit bigger fan. And I would say I'm probably a bigger Squid Game fan than you, and you're a couple into that. So,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
um, but I like abject violence and unnecessary killing. I
And I
don't
like
know.
passive aggressive mental anxiety. Yeah, from the bear. That's my go-to.
Yeah, I just get stressed out thinking about watching an episode of The Bear.
Yeah.
So it's so intense.
It's so good.
Um,
Yeah.
and we had some sports things happening since we last spotted. The hockey playoffs concluded with Florida winning back to back.
Red Kings took down the Oilers, thank God. Yeah.
Canada still can't compete in hockey.
Yep.
Um, well, Canadian NHL teams.
Yeah.
Um, and
You went to a
yeah,
World Cup game,
baseball.
right?
No, I went to MLS game.
Oh, it was MLS. That's
So
right. Okay, yeah.
it, yeah, it was. I've been to one Houston Dynamo game in Houston
Yeah.
ever, one MLS game ever, and it was Houston Dynamo, and then we were in Kansas City and went to a Sporting KC game versus Charlotte something, Sporting Charlotte. I don't know. Um, it was pretty bad, and
It is
I mean
MLS.
it was nice to watch, but it, I had a discussion with an English friend of mine back when I was in the UK in March, and I went to a League One game,
Mm.
which is the English third division. So there's Prem, Championship, League One, and League Two are the four top divisions. MLS is on par with League One. Like, if you put, if you have like the top 5 teams, 6 teams in League One and play against MLS teams, they would probably be like
Top five of the
in the
table.
top. Yeah. And just like probably some of the top 5 MLS teams would, probably be a little higher up. But I think overall it's very similar, very kind of like uncoordinated, aggressive, and some bits of, good play from time to time. But it was interesting to watch, but a fantastic stadium. And um and the one thing that MLS and US soccer stuff is doing right is making these soccer specific stadiums.
Yeah.
Um because it was a nice experience. Just the football was kind of shit. But
Yeah, that's pretty common for MLS, right? I've no offense to the MLS. We're more Premier League fans and Champions League fans and stuff like that. I've been to like three Dynamo games, and it's entertaining while you're there. But when I go and watch a game on Sunday on for Premier League, it's the speed is dialed up. There's more. It's just
yeah,
It's just better. But the stadiums are nice. I will say they've invested money in the stadiums. The Dynamo
Yeah,
Stadium is nice. I've seen Minnesota Stadium, like Dallas Stadium. They've put money into
yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
It just the talent pool just isn't up to speed yet.
Yeah, and I in the Dynamo Stadium, I've seen like U of H football. I've seen two rugby matches. I've seen women's national team play there, and then Dynamo once. So, but I would like to go to a game sometime soon. They
Yeah.
have a player who was just with the national team and or is with the national team right now in the CONCACAF Gold Cup named Jack McGlynn, who's pretty talented,
Hmm.
um, young kid. So there's talent. It's
Yeah.
just there's a lot of teams, but it's like I mean, I think both of us will go to any sporting event and when you used to go see the Astros when they were awful, but it was just fun to go to
When
sporting
tickets are
events.
five
So
dollars a piece, yeah, I'll go have a Bruce.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I won. I know I won one time, or like at like this fundraiser thing, like behind the scenes tickets. So like I got to hang out in the suite, and then got to look at the trophies and all that stuff, and then got to watch the game at like midfield, and it was cool. But I have no idea who plays in the MLS. I couldn't even tell you. I'm just too used to the pool boys running wild in the Premier
yeah,
League. So
yeah, yeah. Yes, there's a lot of we'll cover it on Chuck and Mike talking soccer.
sports talk, yeah.
Yeah,
Say
sports
it.
talk
7 a.m. sports
790.
talk with Mike and
Yeah,
Chuck.
yeah, yeah. Weenie in the butt.
What was speaking of shows, tires, and they were
Yeah,
doing a radio show, and it was something in the squirt. I can't remember. Like it was so ridiculous. It just reminded me of Parks and Rec,
yeah,
the douche,
yeah, yeah. What was the Parks and Rec? It was something in the douche.
something in the
Douche
douche.
Nation. Douche Nation. Nick Kroll is fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, let's dive into the comedy scene real quick
yeah.
since it was a good transition. But
We get
you brought
so
up
sparked on
tires.
comedies.
You there's no comedies on TV. Now, neither of us really watch like the scripted network TV
The
anymore.
single
So
shot
we could
television show, single camera television shows, pass. Yeah,
we could be missing something, and I don't know if like Young Sheldon or any of those kind of shows are still running, but I think on your streaming, there's not many kind of pure comedy things, and so like Tires is season two, so Shane Gillis, the comedian, um, his show, and it's it's like it's nothing really to talk about and how how it's made or
no,
whatever, but it's one of those shows where you can quote lines from,
yeah,
and it's got some funny people that you don't think would be funny, and it's just a good show. It's very easy to watch. It's kind of long. What's it, like 12 episodes?
yeah.
And because I was like, okay, it's episode 8, it's gonna end, and then it was like, wait, okay, it's 10, it's like, what the hell? Um, but it's good, and it's got um some funny people and people you wouldn't know about besides Shane Gillis. But
Yeah.
the only annoying thing is because I have Netflix with ads, and
Oh,
so every commercial was Post Malone and Shane Gillis's Bud Light commercials. Like that was the commercials in between entire.
brutal.
So, and you're a big Shane Gillis fan, so
Huge. Yeah.
um, like, what's your take on Tire season 2?
I think tires. I mean, some people say this season's better than the first. I love it. No matter what, they finally got big enough now where they have like cameos. So you've got John
Yeah,
Lovitz making an appearance, and um,
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn, and then Shane's dad is the guy from Wings.
Yes, yes,
Lowell. I can never remember. It's a three name. He's a three name guy. I can never remember his name. He was in the movie Sideways. He's really funny.
yeah,
This show really does have a lot of like one-liners. Like it's like situational one-liner, and that's what sticks in my brain. It's so funny.
yeah,
There's not much story there. Like it's a little all over the place.
yeah,
Like he
yeah.
has a girlfriend, he doesn't have a girlfriend. Then like yeah, but I just Ron White also made an appearance as like a
Yeah,
NASCAR guy.
as the NASCAR driver.
Which I dude, that was my I think my favorite episode was that one and like the tire conference where like they have like
Yeah.
the motivational speaker and he's just like a super masculine asshole. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is, you're not watching it for the story.
No.
Like, they try to develop this, like, Shane's got a girlfriend love story. And it just is really nothing there. And it just kind of goes back and forth. And then, um, the funniest story is the owner's son. I forget all the
Oh,
names.
Will. Yeah.
Will, and like he hooked up sometime with the model, and like the running joke in that thing, and like in the radio interview and the promo she does at the thing when Ron White was a race car NASCAR driver, like it's just fun. It's weird because like that part, and then in season one where they have the promo girls and Shane's trying to get them into the container, like just the stupidest things are like the funniest thing in that show.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's really like, I'd say like frat boy style comedy, um, like of old that they don't make anymore.
For sure.
Um, but and then it's fun. I mean, it's funny, and comedy can be raunchy or racy or whatever, at different times. And like, but it's comedy should push the boundary, to be honest. But and there's a funny episode too this season where they do a, was it sexual harassment workshop for the managers inside the store, and just the whole episode is like insane.
It's
But
ridiculous. Yeah, there's no way
yeah,
that would ever happen. Yeah.
no,
Yeah, it's
but it's a good watch. Just
yeah.
it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea.
No.
But if you're looking for like an old school, like mid 2000,
Yeah.
like old school movie, Wedding Crashers, like in the vein of funny, crazy shit one-liners, it's a good show to go to.
It's a different kind of comedy, right? I think we're entering a new era of comedy that I think went away after like the 2010s, right? I've been reading articles, some call it the post woke comedy, right? Because there's a lot of like racial joking in the show. Like he calls the Italian like car guys next door wops, and then like
Yeah.
he's like pretending to be George Washington and be like super racist. Like it's not a lot of not a lot of people's like cup of tea, but it's really funny. Um, I he From what I've read, he paid everything for the first season to be done. Shane Gillis like paid
Yeah.
and took out loans and everything, and like they got picked up for the second, and they expanded the episode count. I think they're gonna get like 5 seasons out of it, in my opinion. So
Yeah,
I
and
think
that
it's gonna get leveraged by Netflix. Yeah,
and it's a very cheap show to produce. Like on the other,
so true.
just think of the on the other spectrum, like, Mindhunter, which one of our favorite shows on Netflix, that what David Fincher directed, and very costly, and um, you know, in different places. And this is 99% of it takes place in a tire shop, like in
Yeah.
1 to 2 locations, the front desk or back in the bay, or at, another tire shop. So
Very rarely are
it's
they at another like off-site location, and
yeah, I mean, this year they
different too.
went to the conference and they did a couple other things,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's often it's outside in the garage or in the front.
yeah.
And it's except for the cameos, it's in Shane Gillis, it's pretty much no name.
Yeah, the salaries are probably pretty low, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're up and comers, so good for them.
Yeah.
What else out there? Some people say The Bear is a comedy, and they lobby for Emmys in the comedy category, right? I don't think they would win against things like Succession and stuff like that in the drama, but I mean, sometimes The Bear is funny. I just think it's not the same ha ha funny. It's a dark funny.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen laughed at the bear. No,
Just maybe a Richie. That's
maybe
all I
at
can think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then, on the opposite comedy spectrum from Tires is Stick.
Yeah,
So this one kind of hurts, like,
yeah,
because I like for me, I'm big into golf at the moment, and I've played golf all my life. And it started out like Ted Lasso. It's the Ted Lasso of golf, like Ted Lasso was the soccer.
Yeah.
Um, through like the first three episodes. After the first three episodes, I think we only talked about one a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago,
Yeah, we
but I'd seen the three and I was very positive on it. It's a little corny, the golf's kind of wonky, but that's what Ted Lasso was too.
did.
The soccer was shit and wonky, um, but the story was good. And and then like in three, four, five, six, a character takes over a lot of the show, which kind of just derailed it, in my opinion,
Yeah,
to where like the only part that I really even pay attention to or care about is Mark Maron, who's carrying the show
100%.
100%. And um Santi's mom, Elena,
Yeah, I think it's Elena. Yeah.
they're kind of back and forth in their witty banter and their kind of love hate
Yeah, they have a
like
mom
romance
dad
brewing.
chemistry kind of thing
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only thing, like, when they're not on screen, when, like, it's just Santi and Zero and Owen Wilson, and I'm like, this should be the best part, but to me, it's just like, it's not working.
Yeah, the chemistry just
It-
doesn't seem to be there, right? I mean, we've got, and maybe it's the character development. I don't know what it is. It started off strong, right? And then maybe we're lacking the character development for oh, Owen Wilson or Santi or, but you throw Zero in there, who's like this new age chick who doesn't believe in working for corporations or whatever.
I
And
got it.
yeah,
She's an AI compilation of Gen Z. I don't know. Like, it's this whole thing. Like, I've never heard people talk like this in person,
no.
but I was like talking to Mike at the office today, telling him to like don't harsh on my grind culture, like saying shit like that. And it's like, and then it's very odd, like you have this situation where Owen Wilson's the coach and Santi's like his, golf pupil, and he's paying for all this stuff. And he's like, "Hey, I need to talk to you a second." And Zero's like, "Are you going to be okay, like by yourself? Like, do you need me there to, for like mental support or what?" And you're like, okay, this is not like corporate America with HR and you're hiring wellness people. I mean, it's just very, and I'm the most woke person that you'll probably meet, like,
That's probably
as
true.
Mike knows me politically, but like, man, this is, it's just something that doesn't seem real by having like nieces and cousins
Yeah.
and all this in that age range. And I get it. I'm against corporate grind culture and whatever but I mean, no one talks. It's like AI made up a character, and then one episode she's like that, and the next episode she's caddying for Owen Wilson gave her a golf ring and promised her $10,000, and she's like, "Cool, I'll be your mouthpiece.
Yeah.
I'll be enslaved to your corporate bullshit."
Yeah.
Like, and it's like,
Oh,
but it
it's all for
goes,
the betterment of Santi, but I'll need
yeah,
10 grand.
yeah, it's just like, yeah, you believe that shit, and it's like in my conversations that I have like outside, like, look, I may believe this, but honestly, we're all we all have a price.
Yeah.
Mine's a little more than 10 grand than Zero's is, but she's a little younger. But like but it's like it's just all her character's all over the place.
Yeah.
And the way they describe her and she describes herself, but in one scene she's this and the next scene she's that, and she's like her outfits swing wildly from
Yeah,
emo to
all pink
preppy
candy
golfer
skirt.
to pink skirt. Like it's a
Yeah,
cat. Like it's just it's very interesting. Like they put the show in an AI generator and
yeah.
came up with a script.
Maybe they just didn't know how to write for women, and they were like, just or for Gen Z, and they're just like, just
Yeah,
put it in the Chat GPT, and let's see what spits it out. Because she's all over the map. Like her name's Zero. They've known her for all of like 5 hours, and she's just getting on the bus.
yeah.
And it's all because the kid has a shine to her, but we don't know. Like I thought, to be honest with you, I thought she was homosexual, queer, whatever you would call
Well, he said
it.
she's trans fluid or
Yeah,
like a gender queer, neutral, fluid. I don't know the way she
non-binary. I'll
described
just
it.
call it that. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. But
But
and then she
yeah,
like hooks up with him, and she's like, "Oh, they're both virgins," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't believe any of this."
well, and it's like too, there's no reference to like she was bartending at a golf club serving birdie bellinis at while Senti was playing in a tournament, and then like you said, traveling with him from then on and hooking up with Santi, and it's like, okay, you look like you're 28. Like he like he's in high school, or is he? eh, There's no kind of reference on
No.
like he quit golf at 14 because of his dad. That's the only reference we get to his age at some point. We
Yeah.
don't know how long it's been. It's like it's just this weird dynamic, and it just feels like it's being. You didn't have to interject that like her character into the story. Um, in my opinion, because you could have the Owen Wilson dynamic and then Mark Maron dynamic. You could do some, I don't know. It just feels
Hey,
off.
it feels rushed. It feels crammed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Make Zero not just a bartender at the bar. Make her like she's like an intern for like the amateur cup, and she's like at each golf like location that they go to. So then
Yeah.
it slowly builds, right? But like, dude, they know
Yeah.
for like 5 hours, and she's already driving the bus.
Yeah, the first day they met, they offered to go on the road because Santee like fell head over heels like 4 in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it like or like it's gonna reference Happy Gilmore, but the tournament lady, the
Yeah.
public relations lady, like it was built over, and this is like a 2 hour movie, not a or an hour and a half movie, not a 10 episode show. And it was just built like, oh, she's at this tournament, this tournament, this tournament, this tournament, and it's like, okay, then they build, a little rapport, but
Yeah.
this is just
Yeah.
it, the perfect example is Mark Maron and Elena. They're built a rapport over 6 episodes.
Exactly.
Like versus it's like Santi and Zero are in love in, you know, one episode and she's traveling on a
It is
bus
that
with him.
puppy love.
That's true. I guess at that age it moves quicker, but it just I think the premise is good and I hope it kind of turns around, but it's kind of like to me it's kind of way here and then
Yeah.
kind of dropped off a cliff. I mean, it did flatten out a little bit in episode 6. It
Yeah.
was okay. It was nothing like,
It was a six
but
out
I
of
mean,
ten episode. It wasn't a banger.
no, and we all know it's coming. Like he's
Yeah.
gonna have a collapse, and it's just. I mean, it's understandably you can follow like the Ted Lasso playbook,
Yeah.
and if you're gonna go multi seasons, the first season he's not gonna qualify, and he's gonna contemplate quitting golf, but then they're gonna, then something's gonna happen, and they're gonna go back out and try to qualify him. And then he'll make the tour, and then then he'll third season he'll win,
And
the
they'll get
Masters or something.
they'll get a new RV. It'll be bigger. There'll be jokes out of that, like him getting locked under the bed and all that shit. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They've got material
yeah,
to work with. It just depends on how they deploy it, right? It's
yeah,
what.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So kind of different dichotomies of comedy.
Yeah.
Um, And one to me, Stick has a better premise and more to work off of, but Tires as executes what it wants to execute, and
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah, it's
So
interesting how that's what like the budget for like comedy, like Apple probably threw a ton of money at this stick, and
yeah,
like Netflix probably threw 100 grand at tires, and like
yeah.
it, I don't know, it just works differently.
Well, Tire doesn't have Owen Wilson like
Oh wow.
talking to himself like "Rah, rah, 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 rah." I'm a bigger Luke Wilson fan than
Well,
Owen, but
I don't blame you. I mean, no disrespect to Luke Wilson, to Owen
uh,
Wilson, right? He has to have a straight man. He's got to
yeah,
have his Vince Vaughn.
Luke
Yeah, exactly. See, yeah, he's right on the
Luke
back with President. What's his name? Macho.
Camacho.
Yeah. But yeah,
Uh,
Owen Wilson has spent his time years backing up Vince Vaughn and all these other guys, and he's
yeah,
always better with a chaser, in my opinion. You get him on his own,
yeah.
it's not terribly great.
Well, and and in Stick, when him and Mark Maron together, Mark Maron outshines him
Yeah,
by far.
I was gonna say, is
Um,
he like, is Owen Wilson like the Martin Short of his generation, or Steve Martin? He's funny when he's trying not to be, but when he tries to be, he's not funny.
yeah, I think that's a good analogy because he's unintentionally funny when
Yeah,
he's not trying to be funny. When he's
exactly.
trying to be funny, it never lands.
No,
Like,
it doesn't.
you know, in my opinion.
Yeah, no,
Um,
the meal always comes out a little cold. Just forget about it, and yeah, just let it play itself. Interesting.
yeah. Yeah, so good stuff.
Yeah, stick.
We
We'll see how that goes. Yeah,
Yeah. And then I don't think we talked too much Squid Game. We just started it, so we'll have to do a dedicated an
yeah.
an episode to that. So I've I'm on the finale and Mike is through one and a half. So um I'm really enjoying the season, so I can't wait to been saving I've watched most of it on my phone, and so I'm gonna watch the finale on the 65-inch TV.
It's good.
So
I mean, I'm an episode and a half in, and it's early, right? Because it's what, 8 episodes,
six.
6 episodes. That seems right. It's the final season, right? It's to be, right, of the second season technically, but
Yeah.
I'm all in. I mean, the main guy, I can never remember anybody's name or number from this show, but
456.
456, he's going to go scorched earth. And I'm starting to slowly believe that he's going to take over as front man because I see that look in his eye. He's got that like murderous rage to him. How the female sniper comes into it, who's like saving that one dude's life in the end of the first episode. I don't know how she's going to play into it, but um, it's so different than anything else on TV. It's international. I mean, it's such a great. It was such a sleeper show during COVID that it's. I
Yeah.
think it's going to start a lot of new stuff.
Well, I think you're on to something, and one of the things that you said, but I'm not going to say it until we talk about it after the show, but
Yep.
you're definitely on to some themes that are themes that I picked up later on, and it gets alluded to um, in kind of a one-on-one conversation that you'll see towards the later episodes. But
Right.
yeah, I'll have to give you kudos on something here. Um, I don't know how it'll turn out, but at least
Yeah.
it's kind of hinted in the show. But yeah. So we'll talk about that and we'll do a separate episode in detail on Squid Game.
Yep.
And then the last thing we kind of talked about, I think, previously, but we hadn't finished it, your friends and neighbors. So
Yeah.
um I think it's set up for season two. Do you know if it's been confirmed or not?
Yeah. It's been confirmed. Yeah. I
So
don't know how they're going to play a season two. I would have been cool with it just being a limited series somehow, but yeah, that's also
well,
a comedy.
Yeah, also not that funny, but
No.
good. But it like I mean the show was very like I don't know. To me, I thought it was very obvious of how like who was behind it, and I kind of had predicted this as I
Yep.
was watching that the husband had I thought he killed himself, and then she found him and shot him like for money because everything's about money
Oh yeah.
for the insurance, life insurance, and you know, I never said it publicly because no one else was watching it, but that was kind of my theory, and that John Hamm would be, but would be let go. But I think the interesting piece is how do you see season two now that, he had the opportunity to go back into the corporate life, into his, financial Jordan Belfort role. Um, and now basically he's like, nope, I'm gonna keep stealing. Like, do you think it catches up to him episode two? Because we never got closure on the earpiece that fell out of his ear. So like the I don't know how in season two they'd go back and be like, oh, here's evidence like we
Yeah.
were combing and we found this earpiece, and how like, oh, there's John Hamm's DNA, but there's some kind of and then trails left, and then also the lady that fences his stolen goods, and you know eventually, no matter how rich you are, people are going to start noticing their stuff missing,
Yeah.
and like you started to see that towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
um but
I,
and
I,
the cop is very
oh, he's all
the
over her
lady cop
radar.
is, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, no matter what, like
Yeah.
she ain't she ain't letting him go.
I mean, his DNA was
So
all like mixed in at the scene. Just because
yeah,
you explain that like the ex-wife did it doesn't mean like you're not like all over the radar. I don't. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I have no idea where they could take this for a second season. I his whole relationship with his ex-wife and like his sister. I seriously thought his sister was gonna like burn down her ex's house like
yeah.
towards the end. Um, but
I love the sister plot line because it's so funny, because any having been divorced and single for like 7 years, 7, 8 years after divorce, and going through that cycle of, guess what, like never ever works out well. Getting back with an ex, like
yeah.
getting back with an ex-girlfriend that you dated, maybe for a year or whatever, like that never works.
Oh, the
And
ship is
it's
already
like,
taken on water. We're going down, but we're staying on
yeah.
the boat. Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, oh, like, yeah, I love you, and they hang out, and then it's like, oh, now he's back to family man again, and
Oh,
yeah,
it's yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun conversation when she realizes like, oh, he's not working but still getting money in. Like, there's already fire. He's just like, oh, it's like 3 miles away. We got time. Like, yeah, it's not gonna work.
yeah. Well, I was talking about the sister with the ex,
Oh,
but
that
John
too.
Hamm with the ex too. But like
Yeah.
both of that, I mean, it's you have two of the Hams, because I don't know their names, but
Yeah, Johnny
the
Hambo's.
John Hamm
Yeah.
and his sister, Hambone and Sissy Hambone,
Yeah.
they're like they're like in love with their exes, and we already know the sis crashed and burn,
Oh,
and
and her
we
ex was like
know,
remarried with kids. Like
yeah,
that was screwed from the beginning.
yeah, all she had to do was like no thanks,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how season two. I think
Yeah.
it's a fun show. Like, it's fun. I thought it was a fun show. I don't necessarily think it was great, but it was fun.
John
And
Hamm
I
keeps
love
me
John
coming
Hamm.
back. Yeah, exactly.
John Hamm is fantastic.
Yeah.
Put him in anything.
Anything. Replace him with
And
Owen Wilson and Stick, and we got a show.
yeah. So, John, John Hamm just beats the shit out of the kid, like for talking back to him. And
Yeah.
John Hamm would be like, John Hamm, because I'm thinking Landman, Fargo. John Hamm be like, we ain't bringing this uh, uh, zero
Non-binary
chick
bold
on the
Jones
road.
bus. Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't no bullshit. Like, you're playing golf. Like, I paid you $100,000. Guess what? I'm fine. Like, you give me that money back, we go home. I don't give a
Oh, right
shit.
here. Yeah.
I'll work on my game. I'll try to get back. And John Hamm would be like, he ain't dealing with none of that bullshit.
Have fun restocking the
So
shelves, asshole. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, go back to working at a grocery and then being in whatever grade you are between ninth and senior in college.
Yeah.
Or drop out.
Yeah, we're drunk
You got your GED. I don't know.
Yeah.
But John Hamm would be like, I ain't your daddy boy. I paid $100,000 to
Right.
get you to the next level. I'll
Yeah.
go down to the bank, fucking rob it, and get it back, and so you and your mom could be poor. Like
Yeah. You know
John
that
Hamm,
helium your mom stocked up on? I already
yeah, yeah,
stole it. It's just air now.
yeah. Owen Wilson's like, oh golly gee,
Yeah.
let's do this. Like, I'm sad,
I'm
and
so
John
passive. I
Hamm,
don't really have a voice, except this was all my idea, and I've paid
yeah,
six figures in order to do this. I really don't have
yeah.
a say.
I'm forcing Mark Maron to use his DoubleTree points for your hotel rooms.
Dude, I know what the hell.
uh,
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, Friends and
uh,
Neighbors was good. I have no idea how they're going to play it into the second one, considering he stole like the painting from his boss that he then spurred. I don't know how that's going to go, but um, Johnny Hambone's going to keep me coming back. Owen Wilson's got to step it up and stick. They got to figure out that storyline. It's a first season, which is pretty common.
yeah,
Uh,
they can't all get lucky like Ted Lasso did in season one
yeah, the
and
Bear.
just blow it out
Yeah,
of the water.
no, yeah,
Bear,
not everyone is a first round draft pick. It's
yeah.
out. Yeah, but oh, I also watched The Pit. I don't know if you've been watching anything
Oh
else.
yeah.
I watched The Pit
Mm-mm.
on HBO with Noah Wiley, who used to be an ER back in the day. It's amazing. You want to talk about stress from the bear? I was watching that and like I was like, I can only watch one episode at a time. It's so high tense. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, I heard nothing but good things. So I watched ER back in the day, and I mean I don't remember. I watched some of Grey's Anatomy, so I just the medical shows never did much. I'm up for like blood, and, like when
Yeah,
someone gets stabbed and all that, but the
yeah.
medical shows, I'm like,
I'm not
maybe
usually for those.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I guess just like anything, it's I mean like I like Squid Game because of story and like
yeah,
456's art. And yeah, some of the violence, but like if it doesn't have the story, so I mean, you can, you know, like I mean, Stick is also about grieving, so I mean, it's like Owen Wilson's
oh, is it?
cannot let go is,
I I completely forgot that was like a subplot
but
of that
that's the thing,
show.
like the rest of it's been so kind of shit, you forget that what's driving Owen Wilson is his 4-year old died of cancer,
Yeah,
like so it's just I mean, obviously in a comedy, you're not going to hark on that the entire time, but like,
yeah,
but story drives, you know, our interest in shows.
yeah,
And and that's what like you can have a great story told in an ER, you know, on a ranch in Montana or wherever far the second Fargo was, North Dakota, wherever, um, in a on an island in off of Korea. I mean, you
you're
can
gonna
have
draw
great
me in.
story
Yeah,
anywhere. In a restaurant in Chicago with a
yeah,
neurotic guy who's never satisfied. So,
yep,
um, but
yeah.
yeah, I do at the on the Bear, the first episode, John Bernthal's in the beginning, back in the beginning. It's like, man, I need more Bernthal in my life, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's
What's
so
he
good.
doing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to go watch We Own the Night.
It's on my list. I every day I'm like, oh, let me see what I.
Or We
Today's the
Own the
day I should
City.
start We Own the City. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good.
It looks so good.
It's
Oh my gosh.
John John Bernthal's accent in that. Like he's like Baltimore. accent, but also like Southern accent. It's
Oh my god.
fucking funny. It's so good though. It's
Keep
just
getting sucked into The
amazing. But
Sopranos. I don't like. I'm like, oh well, I'll throw an episode of that on. It'll take me 3 months to watch the whole thing if I watch an episode a day.
yeah. Well, that's what you got. We own the city's like 6 episodes.
Yeah, it's a short burn. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
limited series. But yeah. So anything else? I got two other real quick things.
No, hit him. I got
So
nothing.
there's rumors out there that Mindhunter may be coming back as possibly three 2-hour movies, but that's all kind of speculation from uh, Agent Tench
Yep.
interview with somebody said he's been talking to David Fincher. And then we watched today, both of us watched the trailer for um, Andy Weir movie called Hail Mary.
Yes.
And he wrote the book for The Martian, which was the Matt Damon movie. And so I'm about halfway through the book, but man, that trailer looks good. Got Ryan
Oh yeah.
Gosling in there. So
Yeah. It's
be
it
on,
was
be on
way
the
different
lookout
than
for
I
that.
thought it was gonna be. Like I was watching, and I was like, "What the like?" You're pulling out all these different things. Like he wrote The Martian very scientifically based. So I'm really interested to
Well,
see like how he's
it,
doing this.
the
Like,
book goes through I mean, I'm 50% through the book and it's very technical. It's very step for step. It does go back and forth between like the trailer does to kind of set up the movie,
yeah,
but it walks you through like step by step of what's happening in a way that it's like you understand it and you believe it.
awesome.
And it's like, wow. Like
Yeah,
kind of like the research Nolan did like for Interstellar and the Tesseract and all that. So it kind of reminds me of that um kind of vein.
yeah.
But
Just I don't want it to be like I don't know if you ever saw the movie Ad Astra with Brad Pitt,
yeah.
where it was like visually awesome, but like story wise, like pretty dull. Um,
Well, and I mean they made The Martian, they made the movie with George Clooney and Sandra Bullock, where they're
Gravity.
trapped,
Yep.
Gravity. They made like those two movies, which are a lot of alone time,
Yeah.
and this is kind of what Hail Mary is, and like when he gets into space, where I'm at so far, like it's just him,
Oh
and
yeah.
then what he encounters, but like
I mean, that was The Martian, right?
the
90%
yeah,
of
the
the book
Mars,
was him
yeah,
alone. Yeah.
yeah. So that's I mean that's what and The Martian was great. I never read the book, but I mean,
Oh
I
yeah, the
liked the
book was good
movie, and
too. Yeah.
Fat Damon did a great job,
Yeah.
but much better than his character in Interstellar, who kills.
Dr. Man was pretty good. I enjoy a good villain
Mm.
who's thinking he's doing good but fucking everybody else over. I enjoy good.
I mean, I would do that too. I mean, I don't blame him. Everybody has their,
I'm so alone. I'm
breaking
gonna
point.
fake everything. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, but
so
yeah, I look forward to that. So I got to finish the
yeah,
book. I'll have to give a review of that.
yeah. Definitely
But
gonna read the book on that one. That you really got me hooked. Yeah.
I wish I could send you the book since I own it on
Right.
Kindle, but I don't know if you can do that. Can you?
Not that I know of.
Like if you bought a hard copy, you could borrow it,
Yeah.
but
That's all good. Might just go to the
cool.
library and rent it.
Yeah.
Go OG,
Like,
physical
yeah,
hard copy.
go analog.
Yeah, go in analog. Oh shit, that's great.
I'll just page me when you get there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll call you back.
um, yeah, there's so much good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff on TV right now. Foundation season 3 is about to start in like a week, which is Apple TV. Yeah, it's 10 days, which is hitting a really good part of the books that I really enjoyed.
Mm.
And then we've got Happy Gilmore 2 coming out in about 3 weeks. So I'm gonna have to do a Hubie Halloween, Happy
Yeah,
Gilmore rewatch, and then go watch it in theaters. Or no, it's gonna be on Netflix, I think. For Happy Gilmore 2. So really looking forward to that.
nice, nice.
Yeah. But anything
Good
else?
stuff.
Yeah.
No, think we covered a lot. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can hopefully next week our plan is to get
Yeah.
a mid-year review out, our top 10 of the first half. So I think I have like 26 shows
I
that I've watched so far. That's if I can finish The Bear and Squid Game before we record next week. So,
think we
but
can make
yeah,
that.
our goal is to get that out to you guys next week, and
Yeah.
that's always one of our most listened to shows. So
Always
that's
a favorite to produce. Yeah.
yeah, one of the things we like to do best,
Yeah.
critique and rate stuff.
I will be interested. I think we're gonna have the most diverse top 10 list each this year. You've watched some stuff that I haven't watched. I've watched stuff that you haven't
Yeah,
watched. We've been a little bit all over the galactic map on this one, and I think it's
yeah.
gonna be really interesting this year. So
Yeah, and
um
I think we've had some varying opinions on
yeah,
different shows.
yeah.
So I think some shows that you may think would be high will be low, and there's shows that you've watched that I haven't watched that'll be high on your list, and there's shows, vice versa, that I know a couple that you haven't watched that I'll probably have in my top five.
Yep.
So I think yeah, it should be
Yeah.
pretty. I think we'll probably have six or seven of the same in the top 10, but different orders. But
Oh yeah, it'll be over five for sure. But yeah, it's not gonna be all 10 matching for sure.
yeah, yeah. Oh no,
Yeah.
but
But yeah,
should should be fun.
yeah, appreciate everybody kicking it with us this week. Check out the podcast platforms. Check out the YouTube. We do post the video for those of you that are listening. You can look at our beautiful mugs. And always catch us next week. We're going to talk top 10 of the first half of 2025, and we're going to pick up more on Squid Game and the Bear and what's happening with Stick. So tune in more for that, and we will kick it with you guys next week.